Dash cams, something that I believe that every single driver should have, not just the Russian drivers to catch all the meteors falling down, but all of us. It really doesn't cost that much. You can really pick one up for like 50 bucks on Amazon, like a really, really cheap one. It will be front facing and you'll just have to put in a cigarette lighter adapter. But this can really save you a lot of money and insurance issues. Anyway, I have quite a few videos about that. Now, we know that Tesla was pretty much the first manufacturer who kind of figured out how to have that as a built-in feature, but it really fell short of a lot of expectations. Now they're expanding our expectations and the product. I'll tell you what Elon just tweeted. Whether it's going to be good enough or not, all of this is coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric! Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And I want to give a quick shout to one of my newer Patreons, Adam Herman. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community, supporting this channel to continue being independent and moving forward. And of course, a lot of my Patreons get to watch me live. If you are interested in supporting me, go ahead and go to the description of this video and you will see the patreon.com/E4Electric link. You can donate as $1 a month. So thank you for those of you who are supporting me. All right, back to the dash cams. Now, a lot of us have aftermarket dash cams. And again, I believe this is absolutely must. I have a dual dash cam, so the front and back in both of my cars. And on top of that, I have it wired so it actually monitors everything 24/7 and keeps recording everything 24/7. So even if I'm away from the car, it's still recording, which actually a lot of trouble happen when you're not in the car. When you're in a car, you kind of know what happened. Now, you still need to have proof, and that's why you obviously want it to be running all the time. But when you're away, you definitely know what the hell is going on with your car. So that's kind of a must-have. But just like I said, even if you're on a budget and you don't have to have an electric car, obviously it's easier on an electric car because even though it's wired into a 12-volt battery, that battery just doesn't have as much load because it doesn't have to start an engine, right? So that way you can run it 24/7. Of course, there are interrupters to make sure that battery never gets way too low where the entire car shut down. But nevertheless, it is much easier on electric cars. But even if you don't have a big budget, $50 dash cam that you can put with a suction cup on your windshield and plug it in a cigarette lighter adapter is kind of a must. It really just kind of a must-have. So now, as we know that Tesla had came up with their own. I've been shocked that in all this time that Tesla Model S has been around for over 5 years now, actually 6 years now, right? They figured out from scratch how to do a self-driving system with neural nets and all of these complicated things and hardware and cameras. And in all that stuff, they haven't figured out how to take the feed from the same camera and instead of doing all this fancy artificial intelligence stuff, basically just put it on a hard drive, just kind of dump it. Now, what they did a few months earlier, finally, is they basically said, okay, all right, okay, we'll give you one camera to play around with for now, which is a front camera. It doesn't have as good of an angle, but nevertheless, it's a front camera. I believe it's black and white, but you kind of have to do it as a do-it-yourself project. You have to get your own USB drive, plug it into USB port. You have to format it in a certain format, and you have to create a folder before you do that. Then you have to kind of configure it. And then after all that, you only get a feed from one camera, and I believe the entire recording records over itself every hour. See, in regular dash cams, we can record over and over as long as there is space. In my case, I think it's lasts 10 hours. But if you have a bigger one or you lower the resolution, you can record the entire day worth of front and back footage. All right, so got definitely a lot of shortcomings, and it's also for hardware too. I don't understand why it's only for hardware version 2, because like I have a hardware, version 1, and I don't get why my camera with a software that can be updated over the air cannot do the same. Like, I don't really get it. I don't know if all their software engineers are on the Model 3 line, production line helping out. Is it like a regulation thing? I really don't get it. So nevertheless, it was disappointing for people like me, and even people who were able to get it, they were thankful of having it, but obviously the limitation is there. However, Elon finally tweeted out yesterday that that's going to change, and let me know how. I will let you know in a second how it's going to change. But before that, let me just remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. There's a discount code in the description of this video, and believe you can actually buy dash cams there as well. So there. All right. So Elon's tweet, he basically said that, and he's calling it a sentry mode. I actually, well, English is a second language here, so I don't know about that. But Tesla Sentry mode coming soon for all cars with enhanced autopilot. All right, so this is referring to 360 coverage, right? This means that all cameras that Tesla has, or at least the ones that will cover the entire 360 around the car, will be involved in recording. Now, obviously, there's a lot of quite a few things that I would like to know, whether it's going to be black and white. Is it going to be just 1 hour of a recording, or can it just be more than that? Because don't forget, something happens to your car when you left and you come back 3 hours later, or you get in a car accident, and by the time you figure out that everything's on USB drive, you had to go to hospital or talk to the cops or whatever, everything's already overwritten. So first of all, will we get more space? Do we need to bring our own USB drives to get this again? Probably, but at least do we really have to configure everything ourselves? That'll be the second question. A third question would be like, can this work while people are away? As a matter of fact, I believe this post that Elon tweeted out yesterday was in a reply of somebody saying that they went somewhere and they came back and there was a ding on the car, and I think that person wishes that would have a 360 degree recording, but right now you can't really record while you're gone anyway. So that would be nice to know if that's the case. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's only for those people who pay for enhanced autopilot, and it's already for second version of hardware. So it's like very small amount of people who paid a lot of money for it. So a lot of people were kind of upset, and then Elon tweeted out a second tweet and says, okay, since it's part of safety and security, all cars with autopilot 2 plus hardware will get it. Okay, once again, aside the fact that it doesn't seem like whenever he tweets something out, he thinks stuff through, right? Or what the backlash or response from the customer base is going to be, and then has to change his mind, just like he did with the rates and quite a few other things. I would really like that he would take just the extra couple of days to just think stuff through, and then tweet stuff out. And as a matter of fact, of course, I don't like him tweeting out. I would rather have a press release or a statement or an email to the customer base, because we're, a lot of us are busy people who don't really necessarily want to follow his Twitter account, which a lot of times is full of stuff that I don't really care for. Only as a YouTuber I do, but as a customer I really don't. So a lot of questions, but we'll see what they're going to come up with. Again, it kind of sucks that people with AP2 regular hardware even doesn't seem like they're going to get it. So it's just AP2 plus. And nevertheless, the newer cars they're going to be making hopefully will have this whole 360 monitoring and recording. Again, don't forget the amount of recording that's allowed, how many hours, is very important. It's almost a moot point if it's just 1 hour, just for the reasons I explained. Let me know in the comment section, guys. First of all, do you already have a dash cam? If not, why don't you have a dash cam? I mean, seems like a relatively cheap thing to have compared to the price of the car, and can really help you out when there's an accident or neighbor's cat pees on your hood. Lots of good things that come out of it. And secondly, do you think that Tesla should have this as a feature for all of their cars that have cameras, and just maybe charge extra, maybe charge monthly for it? Like, I wouldn't mind, especially if they would figure out how to store it in their cloud so I can access it, like for example my Xfinity Home security cameras in my house. I can just access it through the cloud, and I'm more than happy to pay for it. A new way to generate revenues, maybe. All right, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.